All right, I ordered some totes of oil for the shop and I need to put some racking down to set it on. Let's build some. I picked up metal, some tubing, angle iron, and some expanded steel and a piece of sheet metal, and we will use that for the stand. For these totes of oil, I will have a base bottom stand. That's where the oil totes will sit on. I'll have one oil tote on either side and then an empty one for the waste oil. And then on top of that, I'll make a rack that just sits on there. That's where I'll put my funnels and my pails. And then they'll also have a drain for all the waste oil. Just keep it neat in the shop. It's gonna go in this corner. I'll have to bring some gravel in, but that's where it'll sit. It'll fit very nicely. I don't like building custom stuff because it takes a long time, but I do love building custom stuff because custom is always better and it fits perfectly and it's exactly what you want. So let's do it. Here are my plans before I build anything. I always lay it out. I know my lengths and the material I need. That way, when I go to build it, I have everything. That's for the base, and now this will be kind of the top that sits on top of the totes. All right, so unfortunately, I was shorted some steel, but today's the day I have to do this. That's what's on the docket, so I'm gonna improvise a little bit and use some scrap stuff I had laying around. Having a dirt floor in here makes it a little hard to build things that are square, so best thing I can do right now is pull the trailer in as far as I can. Planter's taking up a lot of space. And then I will just build my stand right here on the deck. Got the welder there because the plug's there. Trust me, when I was laying this shop out, I knew what kind of things were going to be happening. I figured there's a high likelihood that I am welding at the door or outside. So I figured, hey, the welding plug should be pretty close to the door. And that comes in clutch for the oil rack build. Let's go. I was supposed to have an extra 10 feet of this 2x3 square tubing, but I don't. So this back runner here is a smaller piece that I have for later on in the job, which I'll have to change that now too. But this way, then at least I can keep going because I have to get this project done and move on to the next one. All right, so we got the frame welded, and now we're gonna check to make sure it's square. One 34 7/8. One 34.5. So we're a bit out. We'll have to push that end over. All right, on the diagonals, they're both 134 3/4. So now I will weld up the corners, and then we'll put some bracing in and add the legs. Got the square frame welded up. So now we'll add some reinforcements on the top, throw in some legs, and then the main platform should be done. All right, we got the top welded together. We're gonna weld some strap iron on the ends and the sides so that when you slide the tote in from the front, it kind of stops it. The top of the frame is completely done now. Gusset, or the extra beams, and then all the way around I put a strapped skirt, which will add a lot of strength, especially on the back thinner beam. Should be good. I allotted myself 8 hours to do this job. That's what I figured labor would cost me. And so far I am 3 hours in and definitely at least halfway done. Probably halfway, because the top part is easier to build, but there's a few extra add-ons I want to do. So if we can come in under 8 hours, we will be doing well. Man, check that stand out. That is sweet. Very sturdy. Got a nice lip all the way around to catch the totes. And there'll be 3 totes. It'll be THF, a waste oil tote in the middle, and then 1540. But I like that, and then I can put all my pails and stuff underneath, and then the rack we build will sit on top of the totes. Now I have finished the bottom of the oil stand. I am building the top piece that'll sit on top of the totes. This is gonna be made of 3-inch angle iron. It doesn't have to be super structural, it's just gonna sit on top. All right, so we got the frame done, and now I'm gonna start making the oil catch funnel. And to do that, I'm using some of these rods that I bent to give me some height so that I can build the tunnel or the funnel and slope it down into the tote. That is where the funnel will hang. That little piece of square tubing is the downspout. And now we're gonna cut out the sides. It's gonna be a perfect square. That's gonna be the easiest way to make this actually work. I find building, nice cones or funnels like that, whether it be a grain trailer or this, it doesn't always work out the best. Give it a good old college try. So I'm gonna get 4 identical squares cut out first. Boom, 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 boom. And then I'm gonna overlay them and then just cut the corners off to make that funnel. Hopefully that makes it the most consistent product, and then it'll transfer over there easier. I'm just stacking sheet after sheet, one on top of the other, and then cutting them out, because then it gives me a good edge to follow, and then I don't have to waste time measuring and that sort of thing. We got all the sides of the funnel cut out. Now we'll put the center drain in the middle and tack all those pieces onto this frame. Hopefully it lines up good enough that all the seams will weld evenly and they'll be close. Turned out all right. So now we'll put it in those hangers and then add a support on the sides. Well, it wasn't fun, but I got it all welded up. So now tomorrow I will fit that cone in that stand. We got our totes of oil this morning. I brought a big tractor to help. With that, I brought some gravel. That will go in this corner because this is a low hole. It was full of clay, so I dug it out before I kind of moved in. The stand is built and ready to go over there. I need to do a bit of grinding on some corners and just touch it up. And then we'll use the Kubota and the big tractor and trying to get it all sorted. Well, the Kubota made light work of that job. It works pretty good for this type of thing because it is a small frame tractor, and for a lot of things that's just slow, but in tight spaces works really well. So now this corner is nicely built up, just some reclaimed gravel we had around the farm. So now we have to put that there and get those totes on top of it with that tractor. Almost like it was built for it. So now I got bricks underneath the legs, and I guess now I can load up the totes. This is officially the first project in this shop that I have made and am not painting before I install it. At this point, it's an oil rack. It's gonna get covered in oil. Might as well be bare steel. Maybe I'm just lazy and I got other things to do. So we're just putting it together, get this job done, hopefully get the planter and the tractor out end of the week. It is not gonna be easy. If I'm gonna have any hope at getting this in there, I am gonna have to clean up where I've been welding. The dirt floor took a toll on the welder and I broke a wheel off. So I'll have to clean this, move that back a bit because I'm still not completely done welding, and then try and set it in right there. I think I should be able to wiggle my way in there because of the fancy dancy articulation. That turned out pretty sweet. Fits in there good. I don't like that it's so bulky right by the door, but I mean, I'm making do with what I got space-wise, and this is a pretty clean fit. The top rack is right there. I will add some stuff to it yet. It's not done. I just need to get these totes in here, and I had to get that done before the bi-directional went back to the farm because it is way more agile and can work in that tight area and really get them set perfectly. Yesterday evening when me and little buddy were just hanging out in the shop, we built those stairs. So now today the goal is to get the funnel, which is there, finished up, and I really would like that top rack to be done. I want the oil project over. The funnel has been completely welded on the inside. I'm gonna clean up the back, and then we will get that mounted in there, and we will brace it with some of the extra stuff we have laying around, and at the same time we will make a spout. So we'll just weld a piece of tubing right here, and then that will fit, now that we have our totes lined up, in here. So now I can get it all lined up perfectly. I like the stand. It's taller than I expected, but with the stairs it's nice, and now I can still drain out the bottom of both of these totes. I have to get some adapters made up. And then underneath, like I've got this oil here. All the oil pails will fit underneath, and then we'll just clean up the floor space a bit. It is definitely a tight fit. I put this up a long time ago, and I knew I wanted to put oil drums here. Got some good clearance. And then, oh, I nicked the wiring a bit, but fits good. And then once this tote gets like empty or close to it, then we can kind of push it into its final position, because now I should never have to move these totes again. Well, until I do concrete in the spring, but then when they're empty, you can kind of slide them and put them where you want them, and then it's just bulk fill after that. Wow, it's coming along quick. I have this base in here. I need to weld that down, mount some things in there, and then just cover it in the sheet of expanded steel. Okay, so this is the funnel that's completed. This will be the side you see. You pour your oil in here, and then your oil filling containers, you can hang them on the top, and like you can hang funnels on those bottom two small ones if you want to let them drip out. I'm not 100% sure about how I feel about that. Those two front ones might have to come off, or they might be too long, but I figured, hey, if I use it for a bit and I don't like how it is, I can cut it back or cut it off. Then I'm not trying to add stuff later. That was the hard part, at least. So now I just need to add the corrugated or the expanded steel on either side. We finally finished the oil project. I really like how it turned out, and now I should never have to do anything like this again, because you know it's fun to start the project and then it's just grueling and takes forever to finish. So there we go. We got the top rack built. Climb up the steps. You can just pour your oil in here, goes into the tote, and then you can set stuff on this part here, and then you've got your pails or funnels on these things, and then you can just set stuff, oil change related things, on top. But that's how it turned out, and I really like it. Now we just need to get the spouts on the bottom, and then we're done.